Today's question is, how can you feel connected to others? That's the question, isn't it? That's the question. I have always felt a level of disconnect with people. I have never been the greatest people person. I have never been great at fully integrating myself into groups that I meet. Even if I can be a part of the group, I always feel like I'm my own independent little sector of that group and not, an amalgamation. I feel like I'm oil and water. But, you do feel strong moments of connection a lot of the time. What gets in your way? What gets in your way is ego. It's the trying to be something compared to other people. The harder that I try to get people to like me, the more desperate I come across, the more needy I come across, and that repels people. The more that I try to be better than other people, the more wrapped up in my head I get, and the less I enjoy other people's company. If I'm trying to be more charismatic than you, or more attractive than you, funnier than you, whatever, I've accomplished more. I'm going to be looking at everything that you do with a fine-tooth comb, picking it apart, and trying to compare it to my things. And when I succeed, hey, maybe I'll feel pretty good. Not really, but I'll pretend like I feel really good. And when I'm not succeeding, when somebody is legitimately doing better than me at something, I don't know, has some bigger success, does just, seems to be more than me. It's not just a matter of does more, it's is more in my head. I'm gonna be miserable. And I'm gonna resent that person. A lot of the time, a person that I call my friend. A person who I genuinely admire a lot of things about them, but I feel like I'm not allowed to like them because they're succeeding at something more than me. I remember specifically, there was a kid in my sophomore health class, and I by and large liked talking to him most of the time. He had some things about him I didn't like, but I mean, that's everybody. I felt like we had pretty good conversational chemistry for the most part. And I thought he was very charismatic and charming. And it was exactly that problem. He was dating a lot sooner than I was. Some very attractive girls in our grade. And I just decided, okay, well, he's got to be a jerk now. And I just distanced myself from him almost entirely for that reason. I resented him strictly for the fact that he was good at talking to girls. That's really frustrating, partly because I can see ways in which I'm still doing that today. It's less about being able to get girls these days because I am already in a relationship with a very beautiful woman, and I am just not putting all my value on that anymore. But what have I put my value on instead as an adult? It's mostly how much money I'm making. How nice of a car I drive, how nice of a place I live in. There's a lot that I can like about myself, but it's usually when I'm alone, when I'm detached from people completely, because I don't have all these springboards of comparison. It's just like, why? Why can't I just bring that self-esteem with myself to other people? Even people that are doing better than me. Like, if I'm okay with how much money I have when I'm alone in my apartment, why can't I be okay with that when I'm around somebody who's making six figures? I have a friend that I'm only kind of now starting to get close to, and if I am being totally honest with him, which I probably will be, because he's a very, you can say anything around him kind of person. I have just been horribly jealous of his income. And I know he's very forthright about he's still not perfectly happy. He still has a lot of issues, some of it coming from the fact that because he's making money, he's worried about losing it all. You know, he gets anxiety about not having the place that he is in life anymore. We can feel more connected to others by realizing that we're just, we're complete as we are. And if there are areas that we're not complete, we can be working on those and we can be proud of ourselves about those things. But we will never be proud of ourselves about those things if we're only doing it to say, I'm better than other people. Because you will never be better than other people. You're not going to be worse than them. You're just not going to be better. You're going on a treadmill expecting to get farther than people. I can legitimately give myself props for the things that I do that I'm proud of. And I don't need to brag about it, but I do need to be more honest with people about stuff. When people ask how I'm doing, how about what if instead of talking about every way that work upset me on a given day when somebody asks how I'm doing, what if I talked about a way that I'm proud of myself that day to start with? What if that was the first thing that I said? Language really does influence you subconsciously. If somebody asks how you're doing and the first thing you say is, I'm doing all right because, work was not too bad today, or, I'm sucky because work sucked today. First of all, I think it is me reevaluating how I should spend my day to day. But also, when I say that first, that makes it sound like that is the first thing that defines me in life. Yeah, when people ask how I'm doing, maybe I could just list one way that I'm proud of myself. And then the glory of that, it's like, okay, well, that's a very self-centered, narcissistic. It's a way of me being able to appreciate others' accomplishments. I don't appreciate other people's accomplishments because I don't view myself as having enough accomplishments. And I can, if I can give myself the love and pat on the back, I'm allowed to for my successes. I can appreciate other people's successes. Learning to love people succeed has been a big thing throughout the past year. And from a higher perspective, it's like anybody's success is your success.